Hey there. Are you tired of waiting for the next episode of It's Probably Not Aliens? Well, we've got some good news for you. On Nebula, our streaming service, you can get access to all our episodes a week early. That's right, you'll never have to wait again to hear Scott and I debunk the latest ancient astronaut theory or get a movie fact wrong. But that's not all. Nebula is home to dozens of content creators we know you like, so you can find all your favorites in one place. Plus, we post content on there that you won't find anywhere else. And the best part? By signing up for Nebula at nebula.tv/probablyNotAliens, you're directly supporting the show and both of us. So don't wait any longer. Join Nebula today and listen to the next episode right after this one.
Cold open. Normally we do a cold open. It's funny because we were both sick recently, but that's not the cold open I want to do. Bonjour, Tristan.
Salut, ça va bien?
Oh my gosh. But I'm so sorry. I just came back from a week in French Canada and I'm still saying, it's so natural to me to say bonjour, merci,
Tabarnak.
pardon, all this. I've picked up the language so quickly. It's become a part of my vernacular these days. I can't help but speak very fluent French.
Oh, okay. Salut, bonsoir. Ça va bien?
Oui. Oui. I will have you know I was in Canada for an entire week, and I only once, a single time, made a joke about someone needing to go to the bathroom, so they need to take a wee-wee. All right?
Oh, my goodness.
I only did it once, I'll have you know. I'm also only partly joking because ever since we got back, I wanted to blend in. We were talking about this a little bit before the episode. I wanted to blend in. I didn't want anyone to know I was from the States. I wanted to appear as one local being, just existing in, oh yes, I live here, Montreal, Quebec City. I live here. You know this, you know me. And so I did very quickly start to say, like, merci instead of thank you, which I'm sure it has a terrible American accent on it, but at least I tried. And I did it so often that and not only that, the two were merci and pardon, which I don't think I heard anyone say. Most people said excusez-moi, but I tried doing both. And whenever I just needed to like say, oh, pardon me, excuse me, because I was in someone's way. And ever since I got back to the United States, I have continued to say, like, if someone does, if we're at a restaurant and someone brings me a glass of water, I instinctively do, like a cliche, like a college kid who did a semester abroad, like a cliche. Someone brings me a glass of water and I say, merci. And I'm like, fuck, no, we don't say that here.
I mean, I went to Mexico for a week recently as well, and gracias becomes rather normal.
That is true. We divided and conquered. We've taken over the entire North America.
Now, what I really wanted you to do, because I know that your wife speaks French, and I know that I wanted you guys to just be like to have a true Canadian experience, and the Canadians. Maybe not even all the Canadians in the audience will enjoy this, but for you to become and be like, salut, ça va bien, je veux prendre un sandwich, s'il vous plaît. And then they'll be like, ah ouais, attache le truc, puis lâche la patate, mon chum calice.
Very different accent. I think that I think that was the biggest thing. And that was sort of the difference that we saw between Emily was used to saying like pardon when you're in someone's way or you're just trying to
the
past
answer
someone or whatever. Yeah. Everyone else, if they were to say anything, it was always excusez-moi. Very different, even just like phrasing that you would say, which we thought was funny. And but yeah, I loved it. Loved my time in Canada. Tristan is convincing me, not that he needs to twist my arm, but convincing me to come back, and I will. So maybe live show in Toronto.
Sounds like
could be fun.
Sounds fine, tingly.
I got nothing going on next year.
Hey, if you've got a podcast, yeah, you might need a what they call it, a babycation, but like a different kind.
A baby moon.
Yeah,
baby moon.
This is the post baby moon.
Yeah, that's true. Is a baby moon supposed to be before you have a baby?
Yes.
We're not doing one of those. Okay, yeah, we're not doing one of those. We don't have time. Who has the time? No,
I just wanted somebody to have. I know that you like, because I know that Americans have this idea of French that it's like kind of like posh and proper and everything.
Yeah.
And I just wanted someone to just tell you, vous pour la chienne, Carlis, which translates to roughly, oh, you fucked the dog.
Someone honestly could have told me that. Wouldn't have picked up on it.
Like just
I don't know anything.
Quebecois French is its own thing, and it is not the sort of fancy Parisian thing, you know.
Fair enough. Everything was wonderful though. Loved it. Had a fun time there. Montreal, you're my favorite. You're my favorite city. We went to Montreal and Quebec City. Montreal, you're my favorite. Quebec City was good. It was fun. Very historic. Montreal, you won my heart. Something about your vibe there, Montreal. I'm digging it.
Montreal's vibes are immaculate. I won't lie.
Very, very good.
Glad you enjoyed it. I did my undergrad near Montreal, so I have an affinity for that region.
Yeah. Also, like, huge shout out to everyone. I posted about it on Blue Sky and all my other social media, and even just talked about it here on the podcast. Huge shout out to everyone who gave recommendations. We went to a lot of different places that people recommended, including the Biodome, which was just so much fun. It's rare. I mean, I just love seeing animals and just like I like seeing animals in places that aren't just like the world's saddest zoos. 'Cause that's all I've been to in my adult life, really. It's just like when I lived in Greenville, South Carolina, me and my brother and I can't even remember if we went. No, we didn't go to the zoo because we were like, oh, we didn't even know there was a zoo around us. Let's do that as like a fun thing to do for like a weekend. And then we looked up reviews of it, and everyone is saying, don't go to this zoo. It will make you sad. The animals do not have enough room to do anything. And that makes me sad. But the Biodome is not a sad zoo.
When I think of a zoo in the American South, I just think that they are all like Tiger King. Like that is what a Southern zoo basically is.
That's a good call. That's the vibe of the Greenville Zoo. Is everyone saying, don't come here, it's sad.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah,
we're not talking about zoos today.
No, we're talking, well, actually I shouldn't. I'm going into the info dump mode. But today,
this is not your job.
The roles have been reversed.
The roles have been reversed today, everyone. This is something that I want to start doing every year, at least once a year, because Tristan's birthday recently passed, and as a treat to him, I think a couple years ago, I did an episode. I hosted an episode and did all the research and things like that as a little birthday treat to you, and I'm doing it again. So today, I am the one who knows things. I'm one of the hosts of this podcast that you're listening to called It's Probably Not Aliens, where we look into ancient aliens and ancient astronaut theory and debunk stuff about pseudo-history, pseudo-science, pseudo-archaeology, all that good stuff. My name, if you're asking, is Scott Nicewander. Typically, I don't know anything, but today I know everything.
And my name is Tristan Johnson, and my brain is as smooth as a newborn koala's.
Didn't have those at the Biodome.
Ready to absorb the pap of knowledge from Mother Scott.
Yes. From Scott's teats.
That's not where the pap comes from. That's not...
Nope. Anyway.
See, this is what
Tristan.
Yeah.
I have a very fun story for you today. We're continuing our discussion on... Actually, I think I have a soundbite. Yes, we're continuing our what's the word I'm even looking for here? We're just I'm going to start this all over. We're continuing our discussions today. Hi, I'm Scott.
Nice to meet you.
We're continuing our series of episodes, I should say. We're continuing our series of episodes about unexplained structures.
Unexplained structures.
Very fun. And today we have a very interesting one called Coral Castle. And I'd like to take you on a little bit of a journey, if I may.
Yeah. Before we dig in, I just want to make one thing.
Yes.
I'm going to be thinking constantly. So I unfortunately wasted some time watching The Walking Dead until the show got extraordinarily stupid. And I stopped watching. But
so like 2 seasons or...
I got to the one where I think somebody was honestly longer than I should have. It got stupid and I kept watching.
Same.
Until I think they beat a guy to death, and then I couldn't remember what happened.
You could be naming any
there's
season.
a season where the cliffhanger was that the villain like beats a person to death, but they don't tell you who it is, and you find out next season. And I didn't find out when.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
But what is the main character's name?
Rick.
What the actor's name's like Andrew Lincoln or something like that.
That's exactly it.
And
I think.
And there's always some odd bits that come from the fact that he's British, but he's trying to do like an American accent.
I now understand where you're going with this.
And the amount of times in the show where he goes Coral, because it's just like
Coral,
because it's just like the most it's the one thing that comes out where it's like, oh, I forgot this is a British person trying to sound American, and that is the one that really sounds odd.
It's so bad and it's so funny. Oh,
that is
what a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy. Thank you for that. So this is Coral Castle.
This is Carl's Castle.
This is Carl's Castle.
It's a fast food restaurant down on Highway 6.
It's greasy but delicious. I would like you and the audience to picture this. It's the middle of the night in rural Florida, sometime between the 1930s and 40s. A Latvian immigrant, barely 5 feet tall, maybe 100 pounds, is doing something that should be impossible.
Oh, Mr. Nolan, you're here for this.
Mr. Nolan is here now. So this guy, he's moving blocks of stone, multi-ton blocks of stone by himself without any modern machinery. And he's doing it in the dark. No one is allowed to watch him work.
I have a question.
He tells anyone who asks, what's up?
Did he have access to any high-powered hallucinogens?
Can he move it with his mind?
Yeah.
That's the question. Well, we'll explore how he's doing it all. We'll see. But he tells anyone who asks how he's doing it that he understands, quote, the secrets of the pyramids. All right? And that he knows how the ancients built great monuments, that he's rediscovered something lost to history. And by the time he dies in 1951, this man named Edward Lidskaldnen, which is going to be very hard for me to say throughout the episode, but I'm trying my best.
Edward Sexaywoman.
Sexaywoman has single-handedly constructed one of the strangest tourist attractions in North America, a sprawling garden carved from coral stone in Homestead, Florida, featuring astronomical alignments, stone furniture. That's actually very fun. We'll get into that. And walls made out of blocks weighing up to 30 tons. And all of this is behind a 9-ton gate, so perfectly balanced that it swings open with the push of a finger, a child's finger even. They show video of this. It's very fun. In fact, this structure was originally named Rock Gate after this impressive feature, but is now known by the more commonly known name. Give us your best, Andrew Lincoln.
Coral
Castle. That's exactly it. So the story behind why Ed built Coral Castle is also filled with heartbreak so resonant that it inspired a Billy Idol song, Sweet 16.
Inspired a Billie Eilish song.
Inspired a modern Billie Eilish song. Could happen.
I'm the bad
now,
guy.
Mysteriously. Maybe it is that one, actually. We'll get into some of Ed's social beliefs here in a little bit.
You know what the vibe I'm getting already from this place?
Tell me.
You're talking about stone gates and all the things, and I'm just thinking of like him working on this, and then all of a sudden it's the end of the day, and somebody pulls on the bird's tail, and it goes, brrr, and he just goes, "Yeah, dabadoo."
It has that vibe about it. It's all stone architecture, like literally the stone furniture feels very Flintstones as well. There were stone chairs, stone
I know
baths.
the secret to the pyramids. I have a brontosaurus that I have.
And then, so mysteriously, Ed left behind pamphlets about magnetism and mysterious photographs showing a black box perched atop his equipment, and absolutely no clear explanation of how he built any of it. Now, according to Ancient Aliens, Ed Leedskalnin possessed anti-gravity technology that allowed him to simply push massive stones into place. Was it mushrooms and telekinesis? They don't go into that. But some kind of anti-gravity technology. That black box in all those photos, that was some kind of device that could nullify the weight of the stones, making them just float effortlessly in the air. His writings about magnetism, well, that was a coded manual for levitation that mainstream scientists refuse to acknowledge. And where else could this knowledge have come from but through extraterrestrial extraterrestrial intervention. Exactly. Unfortunately, all the stuff, here's all the things that Ancient Aliens doesn't mention. The actual methods that Ed used to build the place are still on display at Coral Castle. The truck driver that Ed hired to haul the stones when he relocated the entire structure 10 miles, eyewitness accounts and literal daytime footage for something presumably done under the cloak of night without any witnesses, or the fact that his magnetic current pamphlet is publicly available online and contains exactly 0 instructions for making anything float. So would it surprise you to learn that Ancient Aliens basically just lied about all of this?
The first sign that I thought something might be up was that this person had learned how to levitate stone, and the first thing he decided to do with that was make a tourist attraction and not get extremely rich using it to like build stuff or something like that.
Maybe he was going to be extremely rich with this tourist attraction.
I feel like he could have aimed higher.
Not the levitation. No, he's not going to showcase the levitation technology. It's just all the cool stuff that he gets to build with it. That's what he's going to get rich off of.
Thing is that you don't realize that they met up with, he did meet like they did meet the truck driver, but the truck driver was like, like,
yes, hello. I am truck driver who's not named. I'm Zork. Jeff.
Jeff. Mm-hmm,
I drive a car with 18 wheels that does not hover at all.
I love, dude. You're learning how to use your soundboard and your voice mixer. This is great. This was live, folks. That's good stuff. So I love this topic. I love this episode, and I wanted to break it down really simply. In 7 minutes, this was a 7-minute clip from the episode about ancient structures, unexplained structures. In those 7 minutes from Ancient Aliens, they made 7 claims about Coral Castle. That's a claim a minute. Pretty good stuff. However, only one of them is true.
Oh, this has a quiz segment?
It has a quiz segment, Tristan. I've written it out in the notes here.
You did this last time too. You added trivia.
I love making it interactive, Tristan.
Okay.
I want you really quickly in this drop down of the 7 claims. I put them just in order. I put them in order of how the episode goes about them. So no bias from me. I want you to just highlight or bold or recolor, mark it in some way, whichever one, you think
is the one that is true.
Be the real one, is the one that's true. And then we'll go through them all. So I'll actually go through them all while you're thinking about it. Here are the 7 claims that Ancient Aliens made. It's the only modern megalithic structure. Ed was a frail 100-pound man who couldn't possibly move 30-ton stones with conventional methods. He would only work at night, and he wouldn't let anyone watch him. I think I've actually kind of busted that one already, so pretty safe to not include that one. Ed claimed he knew the secrets of the pyramids. Ed used anti-gravity technology to build Coral Castle. Do you think that one's true, Tristan?
Could be.
Who can say? Ed's pamphlet, Magnetic Current, describes how to reverse gravity with electromagnetic forces. And there was a mysterious black box visible in photographs that contained anti-gravity or electromagnetic technology that has since disappeared. Ooh.
Okay.
So, you don't have to say you can say which one you want if you want to say it out loud. I just need to hold you accountable a little bit here. I need you to pick one, highlight it. Maybe don't reveal it. And then we'll come back and see when we reveal it, we'll see if it's right. But I just need you to be held accountable by highlighting something or coloring something.
Okay, let me think. I'm torn between 2. I think,
and you can play along at home, audience.
Okay.
Like I said, I think I spoiled some of these in the intro.
This might be the one that is true. I don't know if that's showing up.
Donkey. This one. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Did that work?
Yeah, I was between that one and him being a frail 100-pound man because he couldn't possibly move a 30-ton stone with conventional methods. That's why he got a trucker to do it. Or something.
We'll get to it, but that's a good one. You at home, lock in your answer now.
Like to phone a friend.
What Tristan picked. We'll reveal what Tristan picked in a second. But first, Tristan, more homework for you. In the next drop down, you'll see images of Coral Castle. Ooh. Now, sometimes my job on the show in your situation right now would be to paint a word picture for our audience. So now I would like you to paint a word picture of what Coral Castle looks like.
Sure. Actually, it looks pretty rad. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It looks like a tropical garden. So there's like succulents, palm trees, very Florida.
Yes.
And then it's got a lot of those, but then the majority of it is stones. Some of them are like, I see what looks like in the lower right corner, it looks like maybe a table with some benches made of stone. But in the distance, you start seeing some more, there's some like wrought iron fences protecting some other sculptures, but there's some like larger stone sculptures that then have more kind of whimsical looks. kind of in the vein of like I'm going with like a Lucky Charms-esque series of shapes.
Okay. Yeah.
One looks like a crescent moon, or like a giant stone lobster claw, kind of crab claw coming out of the ground.
That is true.
One stone looks like it's just hairy. One looks like maybe like a little doesn't it? Saturn. Like it's kind of like a ball with a ring. And then there's like, I can see some swoops. I see one that looks like a rectangular slab being held up by two other rectangular slabs with a sort of like angular type thing, like a sort of like a, what are those things called in, what's it called? Architecture.
Like a carrot.
Yeah.
Or like
a chiron.
Like a chiron. There you go.
Or no, a chevron. That's what it's called. A chevron.
A chevron. Yes. That's what you mean. Yes.
I think I see what looks like a turret tower with a circular hole through it. So, just kind of like whimsy shapes that you would maybe see as like breakfast cereal pieces. And then the third picture shows what looks kind of henge-like. It's 3 stones, one stone on top of 2 stones, and then a third stone in the center with a sort of circular iron fence protecting it.
Yes. This third picture you're looking at, this is the rock gate. This is what it was originally named after.
That's the gate. Okay.
The fence net did not used to be there. It used to be the actual entrance to the place. I'm not sure if it still is. It probably isn't, considering they put this fence around it. But you can see, I'll show you a video later, but there is, people used to enter and exit by it, and it is balanced in such a way that, again, like you can just very gently push it open in it, like a revolving door. It just sort of swings around.
Maybe they just need to lube it up again.
I think it still works. I think they just don't want people near it because it's so, because now it's like a historic thing. Whereas, I don't know. Whereas before it was like a part of the attraction. Now people are like, don't touch it. You might break it. Or maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe someone in Florida can tell us if Rockgate still works. But yeah, I think you've done a really good job describing it. It's funny. There's a lot of focus. Would you believe that Ancient Aliens put a lot of focus on the sort of astronomical stuff, like the little crescent moon and the planet with the ring around it? When that was just more like a fun aesthetic thing, and really the real draw to Coral Castle was all of the furniture that kind of doesn't look as eye-catching as everything else, but you described a table with like benches around it, all made of stone. There are rocking chairs made of stone, so you can sit in them.
This is definitely giving me some fucking Hanna-Barbera. This is some Hanna-Barbera shit going on.
This is Flintstones vibes for a crib for children and little babies that they could get in and rock themselves back and forth.
It's inspired by Scott's favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon, The Flintstones.
The Flintstones. That's the only one I've ever seen, and it's the only good one, and they've never made any other good cartoons. Don't talk to me about anything.
Every October he does Yabba Dabba Doobtober.
Yabba Dabba Dootober. That's correct. That's me. That's what I do.
You know how much I love.
Everyone knows that.
I brought this up with you at least at some point, right? Like how funny I find not the Flintstones cartoon. The Flintstones cartoon was whatever, but I always think of like the comic where it's like, we committed genocide, Bond.
Yes, the DC comic where they like tried to modernize the Flintstones, and
they tried to like what's it called, Riverdale, the Riverdale Flintstones.
100%. But yeah, so we'll watch videos of this later. But it was really just like a very interesting thing that Ed Leedskalnin was making furniture out of stone, made baths out of stone, and all these different places for people to gather and whatnot. It was just like a very interesting
dude's rock,
thing.
Dude's rock,
yeah.
Like as it is this dude's rock, but also
Absolutely.
Dude's rock.
Now the common story behind why Coral Castle was built is that Ed was jilted at the altar by his 16-year-old lover, Agnes Scuffs or Scuvs. There are different spellings of it. But it was his fiance.
Florida already.
At the time. Yeah. This was his fiance at the time, and left at the altar by her. So Ed spent the next 28 years building Coral Castle as a monument to his lost love. And that's the story behind it. And we will get back to this story.
I was about to say, like, if the lady, she's like now like 48, and just like a couple years later, just finds like, oh, you did all this because, like,
I wasn't that into you, and
I literally jilted you.
Yeah, I left you. So it wasn't because of a lack of Coral Castle. It wasn't like, I'd love him, but he doesn't have a big castle to me.
Maybe there's like to go to the Flintstones thing. It's just like, I would marry you, but you have not built one single theme park out of stone.
Classic lady. All she cares about is the size of that rock. You know what I mean?
Women always be wanting you to make megaliths. Am I right?
That is true. Am I right, fellas?
Hey, you know what? 2 episodes ago, this goes back. This is why incels, all the incels who love this show, this is why you need to get into pull-lot teas. Because
you pull a lot.
As we're seeing in this story, women love a man who can make a stone park. So
pull some stones, pull some rocks. Ladies love it. So I genuinely think, and I think you would agree, just by these pictures, Coral Castle is
neat,
genuinely quite impressive,
and
neat. But it is absolutely not the only modern megalithic structure. That is one claim down. That's the first claim we are exploring.
Yep.
It is not even the only modern megalithic structure in the United States.
Yeah.
I shouldn't, but I would forgive Ancient Aliens if they just didn't know about other ones throughout the world. I shouldn't forgive them for that, but I would because it's expected for them. But the fact that it's not even the only one in the United States.
I think there's one in the US made out of like concrete. Like somebody made a head.
There's a couple. I'm just gonna go through a couple that were created around the same time. But I don't want to get sidetracked too much. So if people want like full episodes about I'm sure they'll come up at some point. But Bishop Castle in Colorado was a quote unquote one-man project. Again, we'll get into the one-man project thing later. But it was built. It was another castle built out of stone, starting in the 1960s. And its original builder, Jim Bishop, died only last year. So this guy was alive until 2024, building this castle, and just died. This also, it reminded me, and I know we need to move on from this story because it is like a weird special interest between you and me, but the story of Bishop Castle reminded me so much, or it just had the same energy as the TikTok lady who built a mine under her house.
I was about to say, like, how long before Ancient Aliens is an episode where it's like, underneath a house, there's a cave that no human being could have possibly made on their own.
Despite all the documented TikToks of this lady doing it, it must have been aliens.
Yeah.
Well, because I believe...
Although if you hear her talk, she would be high on the list of like in disguise kind of pretend like I'm a normal human who is doing this normal human thing.
She's got like a weirdly, like hypnotically soothing.
Yeah, that's
voice
what I mean. Like,
yeah.
And she like dresses for like she's from the 50s, so it's like that was like the last TV signal that like the aliens like based the look on, and so they just like
100%.
Yeah.
But like I don't remember the reason why she started digging, but after finding all the rocks that she found under her house in her house mine, I remember that she did decide that she wanted to use the stone to build a castle, which is basically what Bishop Castle in Colorado was. Like a guy just had land and just found all these stones and was like, "Oh, I got nothing else to do with these stones. I'll build a castle."
That's kind of the story of how a lot of these megaliths got built, it seems.
I mean, yeah,
even the ones in ancient history.
Genuinely. Yeah. That's a really good point, Tristan. Like this thing, everyone's like, why would they do this if it wasn't, how could they do this? Why would they do this?
Yet they've got like a dozen people today who are like, we found some rocks and did it.
we found rocks and we thought it would be fun. That's the end. There was also Mystery Castle in Phoenix, Arizona. This is a modern megalithic structure built in the 1930s, so around the same time, or actually in the same time as Coral Castle, and using native stone and reclaimed materials, once again built by quote-unquote one man named Boyce Luther Gully. Again, we're not going to get too much into those, but I just wanted to point out that there are those modern megalithic structures in the United States. There are also others in France and Indonesia. And they're all modern megalithic structures that claim to have been built by solo architects. So I even limited it down to just the ones that have claimed to have been built by one person. Mm-hmm. So that I was even getting niche about that. I could have just looked for any modern megalithic structure regardless. But even just limiting it down to that have been claimed to have been built by one person, there are so many. So that claim doesn't hold up. And it also doesn't mention like modern sculptors and artists who just work with massive stones as their medium. I didn't think that was fair, but you might. I just wanted to mention it anyway. And also, final nail in this coffin. That guy at art
school had the worst purchases. They're like, oh yeah, I gotta go buy paints for my painting class. What do you need to buy for next semester? I need to buy 106 tons of granite.
I need to buy a small piece of a mountain, please. So that is all the, a nail in that coffin in that claim. But I do want to point out, to be fair, technically, our boy Dave, he doesn't claim to be Indiana Jones, but other people claim that he is the modern day Indiana Jones. Very similar to that, Dave did say that people claim that Coral Castle is the only modern megalith. He's not saying Coral Castle is the only modern megalithic structure. Dave is saying some people claim that it is. I'm not, but some people do. Very similar to, I'm not saying I'm the modern Indiana Jones, but some people say that I am. So he's just trying to get out of any sort of accountability. So yeah, this just makes the claim. You gotta respect the hustle, but this just makes the claim wrong. But as I said, it doesn't make Coral Castle less impressive or interesting or cool. The whole thing is made up of around 1,100 tons of limestone. And if you wouldn't mind just going back up to the pictures, if you just want to describe the look of these limestone for me, just for the audience, not really for me, I can see it, but for the audience, what does this limestone look like?
Light gray, but very textured, like lots of pock marks and holes, and almost it actually does it looks like coral. With that kind of structure-y, pebbly look.
It's very different from last week or the week before when we did, was it Sacsayhuaman with the very smooth stone?
Actually, last week was the one that you were too weepy weepy for, so Emily and I had a very good time.
Did that one. That's right. I'll listen to that episode when it goes out. But it's not smooth stone. This is, like you said, very rough, very porous, has markings and texture that kind of looks like coral. It's not technically coral, but it is this type of limestone can be is commonly called it, or it just looks like it just because it has fossilized coral content in this type of limestone, which is, I believe, oolite limestone.
Oolite.
I think I'm pronouncing that right. Oolite. And wouldn't you know it, oolite is light. It's not like light as air, but because it is extremely porous, it weighs significantly less than it might look like it does.
The aluminium of stone.
Yeah, kinda. It looks like big heavy rock, and it still is big heavy rock, but it is lighter than it looks. I mean, obviously some of these stones are still, extremely heavy, weighing multiple tons, but they are lighter, if that makes sense. But either way, that's still no match for Leedskalnin's meek physique. Am I right?
I don't know. When you said he was just over 5 feet tall, I was picturing like my 8th grade homeroom teacher, Mr. DiCenzo, who actually was also the gym teacher. And so I just imagine a small but mighty Italian man, but or he's Latvian or something, right? You said?
Yeah, Latvian was Ed Leedskalnin.
But DiCenzo,
I have also only ever had very short gym teachers growing up. That's all I've ever had, and I've always found that funny. We can relate on this imagery, you and I.
Yep.
So it is true, I will say, it is true that Ed Leedskalnin was just over 5 feet tall.
Short king.
His weight, however, was only ever approximated. We can say it was roughly somewhere between, like maybe around 100 pounds, but at as much as 130. So some fluctuation there. Still a little guy, though.
We need answers. Call the coroner. We need to get an exhumation order for him right away.
Dig him up. Dig him up. We need to know. It was also speculated that he was chronically ill and suffered frequently from tuberculosis, but that is unconfirmed. The tuberculosis is unconfirmed as the exact illness, but we do know that he was chronically ill with some kind of illness or illnesses throughout his life.
Okay.
And so you'd think little guy, not very tall, not very, doesn't seem very strong, kind of sickly, probably wouldn't be able to move any of these stones, even if they were lighter than they appear. But you know what's more important than raw physical strength?
Vegetables?
Technical knowledge. What was that?
Vegetables.
Pop a can of spinach.
Open the can of spinach. I can't stand no more.
Exactly.
See, all he needed to do is every time he wanted to move a stone, he was like, I can't do it. And then he just thought of that 16-year-old girl as Olive, just being like, help me.
Mm-hmm.
And he just do it, yeah.
Help me from Bluto.
Yeah, Bluto would show up and help him make the
thing. So yes, more important than raw physical strength is vegetables. Eat your vegetables, kids. But more important than that, even somehow, is technical knowledge of how to work with these stones.
As we all know.
Ancient aliens did correctly identify Leedskalnin as an immigrant, but that's as far as they go back in his history. What they don't tell you is that he came from a family of stonemasons in Latvia and was trained in stonemasonry by his father. He practiced this craft before emigrating to the United States. So I just feel like Ancient Aliens wants you to imagine this tiny little guy picking up these multi-ton stones and lifting them over his head. But obviously he didn't do that. He knew how to work with stones using simple machines, pulleys, levers, fulcrums, all that good stuff that we know and love, all right? The man was a professional, and Tristan, it's not just me saying that. We have video proof of this man working with these stones. That's something we rarely have on this show.
That is true.
Video proof.
No, yeah.
So I've got a video here. I don't know if you've set up your computer to record audio from things you click on, but I have, so I can do it if need be. But this is a small little video. Rare footage of Coral Castle and Ed Leedskalnin. I'll click on that. This is from Nebula 6.74. Thanks, Nebula.6.74. I don't even know what that means.
Oh, yeah. You're literally seeing him use like cranks and just levers and everything like that. Like all of the things that everyone 100%. Has been saying that it's like, yeah, he knows the secrets of building the pyramids because he like literally is using them right now. He's like showing exactly how they did it.
100%. But yeah, I want to play some more of this video really quickly.
An echo from some ancient Stone Age is the work of Ed Leedskalnin, a 120-pound Superman. Using but the most primitive of tools, he handles huge 15-ton pieces of coral rock with the greatest of ease. This is his life work, building a great stone city that he hopes will stand for thousands of years. He works as the ancient Egyptians did when they built the pyramids.
I mean, pretty good. You literally see him using... Oh, hell yeah! Hell yeah, dude! That's pretty good. But yeah, there's literal footage of him using just simple machines, pulleys and levers and things like that. Literally, it's so weird on this podcast that we just have video proof of
how do you move it?
Yeah.
How do you move it?
We know how. There's a video of it.
Hello, my name is Bark. I'm over at this new place we're building called Göbekli Tepe. Watch me flip this rock. He just puts the camera down.
Yeah. But then if you continue, this is 2 minutes long. If you scrub through it or what have you, you see him moving it in all kinds of different ways, using logs as wheels. There's a video of a child pushing rock gate open, so you can see how just easily it opens, and you can see people walking through it. There's all this different furniture that I was talking about, rocking chairs and tables.
Yeah, I like the one where there's the two people making out on the rocking chair.
Okay, yes.
Randomly, okay.
That out of nowhere, that was so passionate and so aggressive.
Yo, as we mentioned, giant megaliths, the women, they just go crazy.
The women love giant megaliths. Oh yeah, there's a merry-go-round or sort of thing for
something makes me think that this guy got sued at least once.
You'd think, right? You'd have to. Something would have had to go wrong. Yeah, baths and just all sorts of weird stuff. But again, all the celestial stuff, like the moon and everything, it's just sort of it's there, but that's not the focus. The focus is just all the weird furniture that he built out of stone. So cool. So this video, which was filmed in the daylight with witnesses around, and again, is a video, is directly contradicts the other claim that Ed only worked at night and wouldn't let anyone watch him. Pretty obviously wrong. And again, considering this is not secretive footage, this is a thing that Ed clearly participated in the filming of. It's got a narrator and everything, multiple shots and angles and things. To this claim's credit, though, I will say it is mostly true, kind of. Multiple sources do confirm that he did have a preference for working at night. He did erect walls that had small stones filling in gaps to prevent observation during the day. So he was extremely secretive about his methods and didn't like to be watched. When we talk about a truck driver that helped him move stones, he wouldn't let anyone watch him put the stones on the truck, which was very weird. And I think part of that was him trying to build a mythology around Coral Castle by being don't watch me do it, and then fill in the gap with whatever you think of how I did it and make it look like I'm more impressive. It's obviously very suspicious. Yeah, other than that, it just sounds like he's just a guy who likes to work at night.
Maybe he had a job during the day or something.
Who knows? There is a gap there where people might claim anti-gravity technology. There are multiple sources that reference this thing. You'll see this phrase a lot, a few teenagers claim to have witnessed, Lead Skalnin working on, and reported that they saw him move stones, quote, like hydrogen balloons, they were basically just floating in the air, weightless, and he was able to push them into place. Now, again, if you go back to this video, there are clips where you see the rocks levitating effectively, hovering on these pulleys. and they're like sort of freely spinning, and they kind of do look weightless. And if you can imagine at night when you can't see the chains around them or the support structures and you just see the rock sort of swiveling and hovering and things like that, it probably does look like the rocks are floating, especially to teenagers who are not trained observers of mechanical engineering. But also, to be fair, neither are most people. I'm not a trained observer of mechanical engineering, and some of this video footage does make them look like they are sort of floating, but that's just like cool engineering.
The teenagers then said 6'7" and ran away.
How many rocks do you think he has? 6'7".
And then they just run away at full speed.
And they all ran away.
In a cloud of Robux.
Exactly. That's why they were the most interested. They were interested in the stones because they were interested in the blockiness of everything.
Yeah, everything looks like Minecraft.
They like the Minecraft. They like it all. But again, most people aren't trained observers of mechanical engineering. For example, we've been talking about it a little bit. We talked about it at the beginning, but what was up with that mysterious black box that Ancient Aliens really highlighted in this episode? They were like, Ed Leedskalnin had a mysterious black box that he used to manipulate and move these stones around, and it mysteriously disappeared. So, in just about every photograph, in fact, I can't believe I didn't find one in here. Let me see if I can find one for you to paint a word picture. All right.
So this is the thing, you're talking about the thing that's on top of the tripod there?
On top of the tripod.
Yeah.
If you want to explain, if you paint a little word picture for everyone.
It appears to be a metal box. Probably has like the crankshaft or something in it.
Tristan, you're too smart for me. You're too smart for me, man.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't look anything. It looks like something that would be part of a mechanism for lifting rocks. Like, I don't know what to say.
No, Tristan, no. That's too simple. It's got to be some advanced alien technology. So you can look this up for yourself, listener, but basically in every photograph that features this mysterious black box, which again, to me, doesn't always even look black. It just looks like a box, and all the photographs are in black and white. But anyway,
Coral Castle was sapped of all of its color. All photographic evidence shows that back then it had no color.
So every photograph of the black box that there is, it's always on top of a tripod structure. And we saw in the video that the tripod structure was used to hoist rocks and help put them into place.
Ooh.
So, Tristan, you've deaded some. You've done some extremely fast critical thinking. If the box is always on top of this tripod, it's never away from this tripod. It's always on this tripod. Could it be that it was just a part of the tripod?
Yeah.
Could it be that maybe it's the heat ray, maybe it's the levitation beam, maybe it's a thing that has connecting hardware to attach the chain hoist, maybe it's some sort of connecting piece to hold the legs structurally together. Maybe it's, you and I work with video. We've done YouTube stuff, you and I, YouTube content creators. I'm sure you've worked with a tripod before. There's usually some kind of connecting piece where all the legs meet at the top. Even without needing a chain hoist for big, heavy stones, there's usually some part where all the legs meet and you need some sort of support structure, even just for that.
Yeah, I'm looking, just to point out, I am currently talking to you on a camera that is on a tripod, and at the top of the tripod is a little thing that is where the tripod ends and the mounting of the camera mechanism begins.
It drove me crazy because I couldn't stop thinking about how the talking heads on Ancient Aliens were probably looking at one of these while they were filming the episode. It was driving me nuts. And again, it probably was more than just the connecting structure of it. It probably did house some of the mechanisms and gears for the chain, and hoisting of the rocks. All right. Some people, there are other theories about this as well. Some people say that maybe it was a battery box because it is a little thick for powering lights, since he did like to work at night. Some people say maybe it was some sort of radio technology, because apparently he did have quite extensive radio equipment that was found after his death. Either way, it's like, it doesn't matter. It's not suspicious. I think it's probably just mechanisms to hold for the chain and to bring the rocks.
I do have to
up.
say,
That's
doing
all
this
it is.
kind of work at night by yourself does sound a tad on the like OSHA violation side of this. Like,
yeah,
might not be the safest workplace condition.
That's fair. But if it's not technically a workplace,
yeah.
then I don't think OSHA can get involved. If it's just like a guy's house,
I think he's just not being safe.
He's just not being safe. That's all it is.
Which is on brand for Florida.
But
so
then
that's fine.
That's fair. But then here's the bigger question, Tristan. Why did it disappear?
The box?
The box. Why did the box disappear?
My guessing is that it didn't.
Yeah, so
We've
this
been
was
studying
really
this show way too
frustrating to
much.
me. This was really frustrating to me. There is no evidence that the box disappeared. It's just that there's simply no record of what happened to it after his death. I don't think that qualifies as it mysteriously disappearing.
To my
Coral
son,
Castle.
Jeffrey, to my son, Kyle, I bequeath my box. To my other son, who is also named Kyle, I bequeath the first leg of my tripod. To my third son, who is also named Kyle.
How's he having all these sons? He didn't even get the girl, Tristan. He didn't get the girl.
He adopted them. He adopted every Kyle in the tri-state area.
True. That's why they're all Kyle. He was like, find me all the Kyles. They will be my children. Oh, man. The thing is, Coral Castle is a 70-plus-year-old outdoor structure. I don't think we've stressed that enough. This is all outdoors, as most castles are outdoors, I would say. This is an outdoor structure that has existed for 70 years. And this tripod, as far as we can tell from the video footage that we have,
it's like
was
black and white
used
from the
simply,
fucking 50s. Yeah.
It's, as far as we can tell, it was just used as some sort of building mechanism. It wasn't meant to be a permanent part of Coral Castle. And by the time Ed Leedskalnin died, like, he was very sick. He had sort of left Coral Castle to be just to the elements for a while until someone
had dozens of Kyles to feed
later. And he had so many Kyles to feed, and no Kyles were taking care of the boxes. And so some of these building elements, including but not limited to the box, may have degraded or were salvaged or removed over the decades to make it safer for visitors, or just, again, they just degraded and collapsed and whatnot, because they're not supposed to be permanent structures. They're just support structures for equipment, basically.
What if he just sold it?
It is so frustrating. Maybe he sold it. Maybe he sold it because it's a mysterious black box with really important alien technology inside, and he wanted to make a quick buck for all of his Kyles. But
these Kyles
really
need
frustrating
lots and lots of Chef Boyardee.
People don't know this, but Chef Boyardee's first name is Kyle. It's Kyle Boyardee.
Kyle Boyardee. Jesus Christ. And he was also adopted by
yes. Oh, in my head, I'm like, I want to Google this, but I shouldn't. I was just like, when was Chef Boyardee first created? Because if it was around the time when Ed Leedskalnin was born, or was alive,
it's a little bit earlier. I think
fine.
it was like a World War I kind of thing.
All right. Anyway, it was just frustrating to me. I'm sure you've encountered this a lot as research for these episodes, but it's just frustrating to be like, just because we don't have a record of what happened to it doesn't mean it mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah, I like to say there are no stupid questions, but
it's just frustrating. There is also the fundamental problem that if this box did have some sort of anti-gravity technology that could levitate stones, why did he build the tripod it was on top of? Why did he have to do that? Why did it have ropes and pulleys and chains attached to it at all? If he could just levitate with this box, why was it always on these tripods? What were the tripods for then?
Well, you see, the chains and pulleys were all a hologram, you see.
Oh, I get it now. He's thinking 3 steps ahead, this guy. I almost called Ed Leedskullin Kyle because we call Kyle so much. Kyle's ahead of the game.
Yeah, Ed Leedskullin.
Oh, God. Leedskullin. That kind of works. You're not wrong. I think a lot of this confusion and mysticism around Coral Castle stems from Leedskullin's theories about magnetism that he wrote about in his pamphlet, simply called Magnetic Current. This is a real 32-page pamphlet that he wrote during the 1940s and 50s. It is available online for free. Would it surprise you to learn that Ancient Aliens has presented it inaccurately?
Yeah. Is it?
It would surprise you.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So the pamphlet details Leedskullin's personal theories and experiments with magnetism that include things like his belief that magnetism, not electrons, are the fundamental force, and descriptions of magnetic pole interactions using experiments with bar magnets, U-shaped magnets, car batteries, light bulbs, all this sort of stuff. Observations that magnetic currents move in double helix patterns. His view that Earth itself is a giant magnet with North and South Pole interactions. His theory that reversing Earth's magnetic polarity would cause the moon to crash to Earth.
So he was also just a crank.
Which is also very fun. So the thing is about Ed Leedskullin is that his observations and experiments with magnetism were just they were misguided in how he thought about science, which is fine. It's fine to be wrong. The fun part about science is then people can test out your theories, or you can test out your own theories, and more people will peer review it and will find answers eventually. And that's cool. I like that about science. But he definitely didn't quite have an understanding of scientific method and things like that. But that's fine. It's just a little pamphlet that he made. And I don't think anyone really took it seriously, except for now we're talking about it on a podcast about Ancient Aliens. But the funny thing is, outside of all of those things that I mentioned, the pamphlet does not contain any mentions or instructions for anti-gravity devices or levitation, any description at all of reversing gravity, any connection to the building of Coral Castle, or any practical construction methodology. This book, this pamphlet that Ancient Aliens references and all these theories reference about he wrote a pamphlet about magnetism and anti-gravity, and that's maybe how he built Coral Castle. The pamphlet doesn't even mention Coral Castle. It wasn't about construction. It wasn't about anti-gravity.
He can be about two things.
This guy has multitudes. He can have a castle to a long, jilted love, and also not understand how magnets work. Most people, including us, have one hyperfixation and then also don't know how magnets work.
In fact, as someone who is, on the neurological diverse side, I can also appreciate him having multiple hobbies that he is obsessed with for a brief period of time and then moves on from. First you build your theme park of rocks, then you build you write your crank magnetism thing, then you adopt 15 Kyles, and then you kind of go back to the rock thing again.
Look, maybe, and I took this out, but maybe you make a good point, but there is a part of it that I'm wondering of is he just neurodivergent in a way where like I don't like someone over my shoulder when I'm working? Like if someone is over my shoulder while I'm editing a video, it makes me so uncomfortable. And like maybe that's why he chose to work at night. Maybe that's why he didn't want someone to watch him load stones onto trucks. Not because he was trying to keep secrets, but because he was just like, please don't watch me do this. I get really nervous when people watch me do stuff. I can do it. I just don't want criticism of me doing stuff right now. Like, it just feels very normal to me, but...
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It feels very normal to people who don't have normal brains, I guess. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Leeds Scullin never, ever claimed that his magnetic theories were the reason why he was able to build Coral Castle. And I do, though, want to talk a little bit more about his magnetic current pamphlet in the second half of this podcast. Because there is only one claim out of the 7 that we have yet to debunk, and it's the only one that's true. Oh. And I think you've already figured it out, but we'll talk more about that after maybe some products, maybe some services. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll see. Might be some real products and services this time. Okay, Scott. You have to say it after the quiz at the beginning. Tell me. Say it. I was...
All right. Tristan, I'm going back. I already know what you highlighted. You were 100% correct. There it is.
Yeah.
The one claim that's true is the one that you said, which is...
that he knew the secrets of building the pyramids. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Yes, I did answer that one trivia question correctly. I no need to applause, everybody. It's okay.
That's right. Everyone, calm down. Oh my gosh, you guys are like driving right now, listening to this podcast. You need your hands for driving. Stop clapping so much.
It's like one Greyhound driver who's like, and then just careens off the fucking road.
Don't do that. In the news today,
this person is so overcome with the need. Oh my god, there's too many bits. The bits per minute are off the charts.
Off the charts. Yeah, so I think it is fair to say that Ed did know or understand the secrets of the pyramids. According to Coral Castle's own documentation, quote, Ed would only say that he knew the secrets to build the ancient pyramids, and if he could learn them, you could too. So this appears to be marketing rather than like a literal possession of like lost technology that Ancient Aliens claims. But like, he's not wrong. Leeds Scullin understood the basic things that we've talked about on this podcast so much. He understood things like leverage and weight distribution and mechanical advantage, like legitimate principles that ancient civilizations like Egypt understood when they were building their structures.
Hell yeah.
It's good stuff. It's not like some mystical alien technology that's the secret of the pyramids. It's just like really smart and ingenuitive. Is that a word? Ingenious.
When you're really cool when you're ingenuitive enough, you can make up any word you desire.
You can make up any words. We've talked about this before. You've never watched, or have you watched Three Ninjas?
Yes.
Franchise has such a big thing in my brain. Ningenuity is what they would say.
I remembered because I saw a TikTok where the person who played Tum Tum as an adult had a story where he had to deal with the fact that he had a hookup who found his old Tum Tum costume in his closet, and he had to explain it.
Well, very awkward. Very awkward. But as they say in the movie,
instant diarrhea.
Instant diarrhea is what they say in the movie.
They do.
They do say that. And right before that, they say feast, then felony, which is also a thing that I say a lot. It has no applications in my day-to-day life, but I think about it constantly. It's a great phrase whenever I'm trying to decide between two things that I have to do. I have to do both of them, so I say, well, feast, then felony.
I just remember the ninja movie about ninja kids where they defeat the enemies by just giving them shitloads of X-Lax, and then the villains shit their pants.
They give them diarrhea, and then they also they kick them in the balls, and their eyes light up.
Yeah, great movie.
They don't literally light up, but, Yeah, great movie. Ningenuity is basically what Lead Skulnin had. So when asked how he moved the stones, his typical response was simply, "It's not hard when you know how," which is like, what a baller move. What a baller thing. Hey, Ed, how'd you do this? It's not hard when you know how. And he's not wrong. Even though he never documented or really, in addition to this, right, again, he never documented or demonstrated any supernatural methods. He never claimed he had supernatural methods or extraterrestrial methods or mystical methods. He never claimed he took mushrooms, still levitated things with his mind. He never claimed any of this. It was just people putting that on.
I'm really surprised that Ancient Aliens actually went for this topic, because Lead Skulnin was a white guy, which is not usually the people that they try to change the agency of for building megaliths.
Yeah.
Usually they have no issues explaining how white people build megaliths. It's
I think they just like the story of this one, which makes sense. I think let's talk about the story, actually.
Okay.
Let's talk about the story a little bit more, this romantic story of his lost lover, in a section I like to call the part where Scott makes you sad.
Whoa. You're going to make me sad?
I'm going to make Tristan sad.
What have I done to deserve this?
Maybe. I don't know, about 150 other episodes of this show is, I think, what you've done. So yeah, let's revisit this story. Okay. All right. This is the popular story. Ed Lead Skulnin was engaged to marry 16-year-old Agnes Scuffs, or again, Scuvds, but was jilted, left at the altar. Maybe not literally at the altar, but they were engaged. She broke it off. In Ed's own writings, he refers to this woman, Agnes, as his, quote, sweet 16. Like, he calls her his sweet 16. And he even would talk to guests about it. If guests asked about the place or what have you, he would always refer to this person as like, oh yes, my sweet 16, the story of my sweet 16. That's what he would refer to her as.
Gross.
And he built Coral Castle as a monument to this. It is a little gross, Tristan. And again, I know it's a different time. It is a different time. But I want to point out that at the time, he was talking about this 16-year-old fiance. It's not like he was also a teenager. He was minimum 26, 10 years her senior. Little gross. I know it's a different time. Not that different, but I don't know.
Gross. Yeah, gross.
Gross is a good way to say it.
I did not want to know that he was a libertarian.
Yeah. So the story goes, he was so heartbroken that he spent 28 years essentially alone, working through nights, building Coral Castle. He had a diet of just crackers and sardines. That's all he ate. Crackers and sardines. He was so scrawny, so skinny, basically starved himself while working on this for almost 3 decades. And he died at the age of 64 from kidney failure. From likely sardines. This diet. From likely too many sardines.
What, my diet of salt and oil killed me?
Pure salt and oil? Are you sure? Maybe it was
and
the
no
crackers.
Vegetables?
Yeah. But the thing is, and even Ancient Aliens talks about this when they're talking about this, they frame this narrative, this story, as some sort of romantic dedication. Like, it is awe-inspiring and romantic that he would do this for 3 decades of his life, build something for a monument to lost love, like toiling through the nights and starving himself and isolating himself from his community, all that stuff. There's a little bit of a problem, though, which is that according to Rusty McClure's extensive book on the subject, Coral Castle, The Mystery of Ed Leedskalnin and His American Stonehenge, most of the information that we have on Ed is speculative, undocumented, and sometimes simply wrong. And there are a lot of examples I could give you. Things like, again, we don't really know if he had tuberculosis specifically. There's evidence for it, but again, not confirmed. We also don't know when he was born. Like, we don't really know his exact age. So even though I'm like, oh, he was 26 when Agnes was 16, like, again, like, that's even speculation. We don't know the exact thing about him. So there's a lot of like basic information that is hard to find. But then this Agnes character, as his sweet 16 that he always talks about, is pretty suspicious as well. Ed Leedskalnin wrote a book called A Book in Every Home, and he implies he doesn't imply. He outright states that this sweet 16, this woman he's calling his sweet 16, was more of an idea in his head than an actual person. It is quite literally the third paragraph of his book. Ed explicitly writes, and I'm going to apologize in advance for some of these quotes I'm going to be reading. They don't say any like slurs or anything. Shit. Yeah, they don't say any slurs or anything, but boy, are they gross. Ed explicitly writes, quote, God, there's a part of me that wants to make you read them, but I won't do that to you. Quote, now I'm going to tell you what I mean when I say Ed's sweet 16. I don't mean a 16-year-old girl. I mean a brand new one. Now, I didn't know what that meant. That's what I thought. I didn't quite know what he meant, but maybe I thought, like a new girl in your life to date, like a new person you're dating, like not necessarily a literal 16-year-old, but like, oh, this is, maybe I was 16 when I started dating, so I consider all new people that I'm dating to be, oh, my sweet 16 again, even if they're not literally 16. Maybe he's just being poetic about it. I didn't know what like a brand new girl meant, because that's not really language that we use.
Yeah.
Ed goes on to explain it. Do you want to take a guess?
New girl. I'm guessing that this is like some kind of weird virginity thing, given that it's like the 30s.
Yeah. New girl, from context clues. I don't know if this is a common 1930s slang, but just as Ed goes on to explain it, New Girl is not a fun show with Zooey Deschanel. It is 1930s misogyny and slut shaming. He goes on to say this, and again, this is a longer quote. I apologize, but it is absolutely wild. I had to share it with the class. Quote from Ed Leedskalnin, not me. A girl is to a fellow the best thing in this world, but to have the best one secondhand is humiliating. All girls below 16 should be brand new. If a girl below 16 cannot be called brand new anymore, it is not the girl's fault. The mama is to blame! Exclamation point. It is the mama's duty to supervise the girl to keep those fresh boys away. This part is absolutely so wild. So that's me speaking, Scott, but I'm going to go back to Ed right here. In the case the girl's mama thinks that there is a boy somewhere who needs experience, then she herself could pose as an experimental station for that fresh boy to practice on and so save the girl. End quote. Holy shit.
What a wordsmith. Man, that took a real right turn at the last half sentence there. It's a very...
I could not believe what I was reading. I was like, are you sure, Ed? Are you positive that's what you want to write?
What are they doing over there in Latvia, bud?
He's like, hey, look, man, girls need to stay virgins. Guys, though, us fellas, we do need a little practice, but we shouldn't practice on the girls. We should practice on the girls' moms. And that's what I think we should do. To save the girls, of course.
Somebody get Jennifer Coolidge here. Somebody needs a hot dog real bad.
God, do I have a sound effect for this? I don't even know if I do. Just that. It's pretty fitting, I think.
Okay, so you know what? There's some ways this is like 1930s misogyny, or dude just has a MILF kink.
Maybe that's it.
Like it looks like in a second, like if you look at this paragraph, he's kind of like going down this route, and then it just looks like he gets kind of distracted talking about this mom, and then he starts talking about, well, maybe I should fuck the mom instead. And like
he's conflicted, this guy, because he simultaneously has a MILF kink and desperately needs a virgin wife.
I feel like
how do I do both?
I feel like I can see.
How do I do both?
It's like,
oh, brutal.
You see, he had this girl named Stacy that he was into when he was a teenager.
But would you believe Stacy's mom got it going on?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I also just want to point out, because I thought this was funny, that the book starts with, quote, "Reader, if for any reason you do not like the things I say in this little book, I left just as much space as I used so that you can write your own opinions opposed to it and see if you can do better."
That's such a good line, actually. That fucking, that line rules. Like, it's just like, hey, if you don't like my writing, you do it. Like, yeah. Actually, I love that line.
Do that.
That's a power move.
Ed, I appreciate the space. We're using it because I feel like we need it.
There's plenty of space for illustrations. Maybe illustrations of someone's mom.
Maybe someone's mom. Maybe someone's virgin mom. Maybe he's really into
virgin mom.
Virgin Mary.
I think there's only one virgin mom.
There's one in history, and he cannot get enough. He's drawing fanfic of Virgin Mary. Just like, oh yeah, this is the perfect woman. I get it now. I get what God was into.
I see why God tapped that.
I saw what God saw. Go off, King, with a capital K, because that's how you're supposed to address God. I cannot. This came back to me in a flash in the camera just now when I was talking about King. I literally did the sign language for King. I don't know why I know that. Anyway.
It's the Lord speaking to you.
It's the Lord speaking through me. So anyway, in Ed's own words, he isn't talking about a specific girl, this Agnes lady. It's questioned whether she even exists. Certain scholars say, hey, that name, that's not even a traditional Latvian name. It doesn't really matter. The point is that the Sweet 16, that everyone keeps getting this idea like he was in love with a 16-year-old. Like, in Ed's own words, it's not about a specific girl. He just talks about how much he wants to marry a virgin. That's all he's talking about. It's no one specific. So where did this romantic narrative come from? It came from after Ed already died. So when he died in 1951, the land that he owned, including Coral Castle, was all bought up quickly by a Chicago jeweler named Julius Levin. There's not a whole lot of information about this guy, but his obituary does say that he apparently didn't even know about Coral Castle and just bought the land to retire on. It is Florida, after all. And at this point,
at that period, and that just I know this about history. There was that period in history. There was a lot of people buying up real estate in Florida. It was like there was like a big like land grab type thing going on at that time.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you for that. Good additional context. Yeah, so he just bought it. He didn't really know that the castle was there, and the castle at this point was kind of neglected, at least in his eyes. Again, further proof that maybe just that black box disintegrated or what have you, or not, maybe not even disintegrated, but just the black box died of natural causes. Okay, it didn't mysteriously disappear. But Levin saw the beauty in this Coral Castle and started marketing it as, quote, love turned to stone. after he sort of, learned about the history of it and everything. So he really turned it into sort of he really highlighted the romantic element of it.
I mean, yeah, he's a jeweler.
He's a jeweler.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Every kiss begins with K.
It's true. And so does King. King begins with K. And that's how you do King in sign language. I'm showing Tristan.
Yeah, it's good audio content.
Yep. Figure it out yourself. And then a couple years later, or some years later, Coral Castle was featured in an episode of In Search of, which I feel like we've talked about on this podcast before.
Have to.
Yeah. Which then inspired, that episode of In Search of, inspired Billy Idol to write the song Sweet 16, as he was touched by the story of Ed building Coral Castle as, quote, a heartfelt lament to lost love. And thus, this romantic mythology around Coral Castle was fittingly set into stone. Ha 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 ha. I can't believe I don't have like a audience laugh track on mine. Ha ha ha. Anyway. Unfortunately, because I'm still in the part where Scott makes you sad, even though we laughed a lot just now. The real story behind Coral Castle, right, is that this framing, this sort of romantic framing, paints Ed's isolation as something that is beautiful rather than concerning. It transforms this sort of loneliness into sort of a heroic, romantic heroism, right? This mythology ignores a lot of Ed's concerning life patterns, his seemingly extreme isolation, working mostly during the night, his obsessive behavior, his possible disordered eating, and his early preventable or likely preventable death.
Yeah, this actually reminds me, like, another person that people do this for is Nikola Tesla. And like pseudoscience people keep talking about how Nikola Tesla like had all of these ideas of like death rays and levitation and like all these like kind of like sci-fi things. And it was also near the end of his life when like his like mental illnesses were starting to like really rack up and he started kind of like really struggling. And that's when his more like weird esoteric ideas that don't really work started coming out. And then people kind of like romanticize this period where he was like having like a legitimate mental break, as this is when all of his genius stuff came out because he proposed a bunch of weird stuff that made no sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very similar to that. It feels like this all sort of ties into this like tortured genius trope that I feel like we have. And it's got a lot of real consequences to it. Research shows that romanticizing mental health struggles can normalize suffering and discourage seeking help. And also, more than that, this claim or this focus on it was one man working alone built this thing. It erases a lot of the many, many contributors that he had to help him. I mean, first and foremost, we talked about it before, he learned stonemasonry from his father, and that was already a long tradition of stonework from many cultures over the centuries of just like taking that knowledge and learning it and building upon it. He also, Ed Leedskalnin, purchased the original land from a man named Reuben Moser, whose wife helped take care of Ed when he was sick. During his process of building Coral Castle, Ed hired a man named Bob Biggers, a nearby farmer, to haul the heavy rocks with his truck and his trailer, who we've talked about a little bit, but not by name. When they had to move the castle, because it was originally in Florida City, which still sounds fake to me, Florida City, Florida, and moved to Homestead, Florida. When they had to move the castle in 1936, a friend with a tractor helped pull and move the stones to the new place. And in addition to all this, Ed welcomed over 15,000 visitors to Coral Castle, and he did charge some admission, 10 cents initially, 25 cents later, but it was always free if the visitor just genuinely didn't have money, which I thought was really cool. And Ed gave personal tours, and that money that was like any admission fee, 10 cents, 25 cents, all of that stuff would also go into help funding him continue to maintain and build Coral Castle. So, far from being like a hermit who refused all contact, he may have had isolation tendencies, but Ed did welcome people, and he gave tours, and he made his living from the community's interest in his work. So this lone genius framing seems to be, from what the information that we have, seems to be historically inaccurate and culturally harmful to romanticize this idea. It reflects individualistic, often male-dominated view of achievement. Like, oh, I did this myself. I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. a phrase that exists only to show how ridiculous that concept is.
I'm also thinking about this too. And now I'm kind of getting why they claimed he had tuberculosis, because tuberculosis also has a sort of like, I don't know if you know, there's a, I think it's a play called La Vie Bohème from like the past, but like tuberculosis as a disease, there was this period in, I want to say the 19th century, but maybe it was the 18th century, but I think it was the 19th century, where having tuberculosis was kind of romanticized, that you were like dying this tragic death that took young people. And like looking like you had tuberculosis, like having the symptom, looking like you have the symptoms of it, actually became like a thing that people put, like they actually wore like makeup to look like they had it. And it kind of became associated with like this like tragic artist archetype. And so the idea that he had tuberculosis, or at least the part of the myth being that he had tuberculosis.
Whether it's true or not true, it feeds into the myth. Yeah. It feeds into this idea of him being this tortured artist, this tortured soul, toiling by himself, trying to build something. I think that's a really good point. I think it also creates this weird binary between like solitude and connection. Either like you're a part of a community, or you're out alone and you're just doing your work, and that's the most important stuff. And it also just makes invisible all the support structures that enable the achievements that he did with Coral Castle and all the others, and anyone else in history. Like, no one did anything by themselves. And Ancient Aliens goes further by suggesting that supernatural explanation, by suggesting a supernatural explanation that steals credit from an immigrant for the skills that he actually had. They'd rather credit aliens and alien technology than acknowledge what a determined immigrant can accomplish with his community and the people and places that helped him out.
Again, Ancient Aliens. Cut that out.
Cut it out. You dum-dums. All right. So now this is my first shot doing the newer section of What Can You Do? Yay, we don't have to end on a sour note anymore. It's fun. Not that it wasn't fun before. So I had a lot of angles I wanted to take with this, but I think you can kind of already see where I'm going, where I wanted to take it, which is as someone who is a YouTuber and I largely work by myself, it feels sometimes like, you're isolated sort of person and you're just like working and toiling away. And then when something is good, it's like, oh, I have this success. But when something is bad, it's like, oh, I only have myself to blame and things like that. I would like, as a practical thing for us moving forward, what you can take away from this episode, let's try and maybe fight this sort of lone genius myth a little bit more. So like first and foremost, when you're hearing stories like this with Ed Leedskalnin in Coral Castle, notice the framing. Oh, it's convenient that they're talking about one guy, but who else was involved? Who taught them? Who supported them? Who funded them? All that stuff. Very important questions. And oftentimes there is a community there. So credit those communities, not just individuals. Acknowledge support structures when discussing accomplishments of any kind. And then for you, individually, listener, I want you to ask for help when you need help. That's a big one, and that's hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. And if, hey, maybe you're doing okay, maybe you don't need help right now. Maybe you know someone who is maybe a little isolated and might need people in their life. Maybe go check on those people. Shoot them a text, give them a call, make some plans to hang out with them. Don't romanticize their isolation. Don't let them romanticize their isolation. Community is good, actually. Mm-hmm. I think community is cool.
Only there was like I wish there was like some kind of like political ideology built around communities. Like if you could call it communing-ism.
Communing-ism. That would be awesome.
We'll workshop that night. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get on it. Let us know what you think of communing-ism. Communing-ism. Let us know your thoughts. I'm sure.
Let us know if there are any specters haunting Europe that you want to talk about today.
And then generally just be skeptical of stories that romanticize suffering and mental health struggles or isolation, and narratives that make loneliness or obsession seem beautiful, because often at the heart of it, it's someone who's actually suffering, I feel.
Yeah,
and last but not least,
take
Whisper
that,
of the
Studio
Heart.
Ghibli.
Stop making me cry. But hey, they had each other in the end, right? They had each other in the end. Anyway, last but not least, support the people supporting creators. Oh, this is an interesting one. I just feel like there's an infrastructure, the infrastructure that like support creativity, it's often pretty precarious. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in like locally for me, or just like as a whole of just like, it's hard to find communities that celebrate and support creativity. Mentors, I'm already thinking of mentors when it comes to, what if my future kid is into something that I'm not into? I want to find them a mentor that can help them with that. Where am I even going to find
all right, I'll do it.
Yep,
when he grows up and he finds out, I want to point out bullshit that grifters on History Channel are doing. And
that's right. And we also recognize and love the people supporting this show, the patrons. You're already doing great work. I appreciate you. And I celebrate you.
I would even say like
lift up the
that
patrons.
Shows why Patreon is such like a game-changing format, because it is like one of the rare incidents you can have of creating financial stability for creatives that usually doesn't exist. So yeah, it's actually quite a fascinating, like, I think it's enabled a lot of culture that we don't quite acknowledge how much it did.
I think so. And I think I try to do this fairly often as well. I know we're wrapping up. That was a fun segue to wrap up. But I also just want to say I try to do this fairly often as well. Like, supporting stuff as a patron is awesome. Mm-hmm. As someone on the other side of that who gets support from patrons, I really like to acknowledge every so often that, like, I genuinely couldn't do what I do without people who support me. So I just want to shout out patrons, including this show, the people who support this show.
Who are you patroning?
We're able to do so much. Who are you patroning? Are you asking me personally who I'm patroning?
Yeah, who are you patroning?
I'm pretty sure I'm patroning A Thought Slime, if A Thought Slime is on Patreon. A lot of trans YouTubers I'm supporting. I will say that. I'm logging in now.
Thought Slime, Mexi, Sly Flourish, Nerd Sync, Birdie Blake, Caddick, If Books Could Kill the Computer, Daniel Henschel, The Unwritten Earth Symposium, Sarah Davis Baker, Quinn's Quest, Rebecca Watson. Okay, I definitely need to scale some of these. That's a lot more than I thought.
I'm supporting Step Back, a YouTube channel called Step Back on Patreon. I'm supporting a Thought Slime, a Cat Black, a Mia Mulder, a Zoe B, a Lily Simpson, a Lily Alexander, a Probs Not Aliens. I think I'm just following a Probs Not Aliens. I don't know if I'm going to give them any of my money, but those are just some names of people I'm supporting on Patreon.
Normalize patronizing.
Specifically this podcast. You can find more of this podcast, by the way, on Blue Sky and other social media platforms at Probs Not
I should be doing
Aliens.
this part because we're swapping the roles.
That's fine. Go for it. Take it over.
Yeah, and so you can patronize us on our Blue Sky platform at Probs Not Aliens. Tell us that that we did a really, really good job with this episode, and give us a thumbs up emoji to patronize us.
Yeah, be real. Do like a /S at the end, so we know it's like, oh, you guys did great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
But yeah, Scott, if I wanted to, Scott, you do stuff on the internet. What do you do?
I do. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel called NerdSync, NERDSYNC. I make videos and video essays and all sorts of weird stuff about comics and cartoons and a lot of Scooby-Doo stuff. So if you're into that, do it. Emily and I have been planning for years, and I still don't know if I'm going to do it this year, but we've desperately wanted to make a video about the Nutcracker movie that tried to be a franchise when Disney had it.
Nutcrackerverse.
Emily loves Exactly. Emily loves the Nutcracker ballet. I think it's great too, but that movie is wild. So maybe we'll do that. I don't know.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. Tristan, give me 1 second. Give me like 1 second to do something.
Get this role reversal going.
Tristan, give me like 1 minute to look something up really quickly.
Hell yeah.
And sort by oldest, please. Thank you. Tristan, if I wanted to learn, this is actually fitting, at least for the time of year when we're recording. It won't be fitting for the time of year when this comes out. Tristan, if I wanted to learn how Christian is Christmas,
where
would I go for that?
Oh my goodness. Sometimes there are videos that I have in my register where I actually am like, I have no memory of making this video. I do remember that one vaguely because
Tristan, you could remake this video as a YouTube short. It is just over 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
It was 2015. It was a different time. But yeah,
different time.
But yeah, that video I remember having to draw with, because I used to make all that stuff with like PowerPoint, like all the shapes and stuff. And I do remember having to make Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse of Odin, with that. But yeah, you can go to Step Back. It's my YouTube channel. My big thing is I try to look at shit going on in the world and then be like, hey, how did we get to this situation? And then spend a very, very long time explaining that to you. I probably can say this because it'll be coming out in January, February time, that I'm making the transition to going back to full-time content creation. And so I should be having some content out soon. If I don't already, by the time this video comes out, or by the time this episode comes out, I probably should already have some of my post-return videos up, ready to go. I don't know what my next one specifically is going to be, but I'm pretty excited to get the ball rolling again. To get the ball rolling on this show, there are some great ways that you can help make more of these happen so that we can keep so that you can keep patronizing us in the good way. So
can I tell people a true story, which is that you and I record these over Zoom, and I always forget that like Zoom's free limit is like 40 minutes or something. I don't know if that's still the case, but it was years ago, and that's why I started years ago paying for like the full unfiltered Zoom uncut.
Yeah, I had to pay for it one time so I could interview Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, right. And so what we use this just about every week to do it. And it came up again on my sort of recurring payments, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna ask Tristan, like, hey, is it okay if we use the Patreon money to pay for this Zoom? I don't know how much our Patreon is making, but hopefully it's enough to cover this Zoom thing. And you responded like, oh yeah, we can definitely cover that. Because so many of you are being so nice and so generous and so supportive of this show that like we can pay 167. Can you believe they have 6-7 in the number? 6-7? It's like $167 a year for Zoom so that we can continue doing this podcast and make longer and longer episodes that aren't 40 minutes or shorter. So thank you for that. That's like a practical, if you're wanting to know where our money goes, outside of the lovely editors who edit this show, that is also another thing.
All of our editors except Stanford. No, he's great. Okay, so yes, if you want to join the people who are making this show possible and making stuff happen, there are two ways you can do it. One is by doing the big thing, signing up for Nebula by using our URL, nebula.tv/probably-not-aliens. As long as you stay a member of Nebula, you're helping out the show. Or if you want to contribute to the direct like equipment and editor and SAAS fund, it's patreon.com/probs-not-aliens. Both of them are going to get episodes a full week early. Plus, at the end of each season, we do a Q&A episode that's just for you guys. But if you don't have money, and trust me, in this economy, not many people do. So the other way that you can help out is that podcasts still really do work on word of mouth. There's not really like a recommendation algorithm. So leaving reviews or thumbs ups or whatever signal you can give to the app that you are listening to this on that you liked it, please give it that, and tell your friends by taking an episode you really like and making them listen to it. Maybe do it like a Clockwork Orange type thing.
Yeah. You know what I'm excited for, Tristan? I think I don't know if I've missed it or if it's yet to roll out yet, but this is the time of year. We're recording in early December. This is around the time of year when people start posting their like Spotify Wrapped. I don't know if that already happened.
That happened like last week, yeah.
All right, yeah. I'm always excited about just seeing all the people unprompted post about how much they listen to our show. That's great word of mouth, and it makes us feel good too. So I appreciate everyone who does that. But yeah, word of mouth, huge help. Posting about it wherever. It's free, which helps out. Leaving reviews and telling your friends, all that good stuff. A great place to send people. Very simple website. probsnotaliens.com. I'm sorry I hijacked the outro.
We're so used to it. That makes sense, but like, don't worry, everybody. probsnotaliens.com is where you can get literally anything you want. But that's all for now. So until next time, my name is Tristan Johnson.
And my name is Scott Nicewander. And the truth is out there. Probably.
Gotta go get me that sweet 16. Sweet 16.
Oh, gross.
Sweet 16.
Ew, gross. Stop. Stop with the voice. It's so bad.
Oh my God. No, I've got tuberculosis now.
Oh no. This is a mess of an outro.